Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in. So, today I'm going to be talking about numerology and the number 4. Okay, so for the Chinese New Year, I incorporated that in the New Year's reading. So, if you find what animal you are by the year you were born, you can get a dose of that for your 2020 New Year's reading. Okay, so in Chinese, 4 sounds like the word death, right, in their language, so it holds that energy. But also 4 in numerology has its own meaning, and then when you look at it for, say, in yoga, for like the fourth chakra is the heart chakra. So there's different meanings. So I wanted to look at that meaning as well, and also in yoga, like the 10 bodies, like the fourth body is the neutral body, and if you work on all the 10 bodies, you will be more balanced, right? More in depth of knowing yourself, right? So in that teaching, the fourth body is the neutral mind, right? You'd use meditation to balance this body. Also, the heart chakra is all about unconditional love, but first loving yourself. And it deals a lot with love and forgiveness and self-love. And 4, in the feminine aspect, is the Empress, okay? And it represents doorways, higher love and abundance, attraction love, right? So being attractive and receiving that love energy, if you will. Okay. So I want to talk more about 4, and then the next video I'll do will be on the new moon, January 24th. Okay, which is today. So 4 is all about foundations. 4 represents the 4 winds, okay? The 4 seasons. So we have a lot of 4. 4 is like balance, right? So 4 in its most positive meaning and how you can apply it in your life for this year, okay? So 4 is associated with the astrological elements, and you think of the four parts of the zodiac calendar. You know, if you divided it into 4s, okay? The cardinal directions as well. 4 is very solid. So when you have 4, you want to be more firm, more solid. And even before I got through it all, I naturally thought of the sign of Taurus, right? Even though it's the second zodiac in Western astrology, but I immediately thought about Taurus. I got a lot of incense going on. So 4 is about being solid, right? And 4 is a square. So you think about the foundation and feeling safe where you are. Like I think about like the 4 of wands, right? Feeling safe outside of your comfort zone. Like if you leave your home, and do you feel safe in your front yard? Do you feel safe in your backyard? So it's about incense. It's about just feeling safe where you are, okay? 4 is about being reliable. So this year you want to think about being reliable for yourself, but also the friends that you have, you know, letting go of people that don't serve you or don't work, you know, serve you in the sense of in a positive energy, okay? Letting go of things that don't work anymore. Are you reliable? Are the people around you reliable? What is practical in your life? So practical is another word that comes up. Being practical with the things that you do and so on, okay? Plotting, Plodding. I had to look this up. Slow moving, right? Or someone that is unexcited, okay? So it's in a personality, it would be like hardworking, but they lack imagination and or intelligence. But you can think of someone that is so focused that they're hardworking, they only care about what they want to get done. So that could go into like a negative way, right? And just really not thinking outside of their box. So you want to be careful with how focused you are or how practical you are. So it's kind of being molded in such a way that you're not going to be able to be flexible. So that's going to come up later on. Okay. Um, Having success through being diligent, your hard work, that's really important, especially if you feel like, you could really benefit from being more focused. And like I said in one of my previous videos, is making a spiritual calendar and then making your day-to-day calendar. So having 2 calendars for the year. Being stubborn could be a negative trait of 4, but also being loyal and trustworthy. Okay. And that kind of personality is like the pillar of their community, especially if your life path number is a 4. So you'll find that in there as well. Okay. The planet is associated with is Mercury, Uranus, and Saturn. So you think of Mercury as in communication. So really learning how to communicate with yourself, but also others. Uranus is going to be unpredictable changes, and we're going to talk more about Uranus later on because that's really strong for the 4-year when you're talking about Rahu and Ketu, but especially Rahu, okay, in Vedic astrology. So Uranus is the 7th planet, okay, so keep that in mind. 7th planet from the sun. And Uranus, you can learn from that by being flexible, okay? Also being a rebel, meaning going against, not just for fun, but really listening to yourself, and it might not go along with what everyone else wants you to do. So you'll notice that in your own personal life and in others' life too. And Uranus is a ruler of Aquarius. So Aquarius is very future thinking, a very future thinking mind. And I was mentioning that in my other video, and we're in the age of Aquarius. So it's really being ruled by what we feel is best for us right now, and anything that is too old, an old way of thinking. Tradition is great, but an old way of thinking, which I'll mention again further on in the video, the old way of thinking might not apply right now. So a lot of things that are old is going to be classic, it's going to be universal, it's going to be forever. And then a lot of things that are old traditions, it was lack of understanding, it could be lack of intelligence, so it's really weighing out what worked then, it won't work now. Times change, things change, seasons change. You can't do what works in the summer all the time in the winter, right? So it's being able to really be intelligent about what you're thinking, doing, and having imagination, creativity. Right now, in the masculine aspect of it, it's associated with the Emperor tarot card. With the Emperor wants to see where it's going. It has a vast responsibility, right? So it's being able to delegate out tasks to people that have the power to do so. That's their natural talent. So it's really being able to manage yourself and manage others and communicate with others, and that takes practice, that takes time and study. So it's really, and it brings it back to your own personal meditation as well. The power day is Wednesday, so everyone can benefit from Wednesday, and using that as a power day, as a healing day. For the business work week, it's the middle of the week, so really recharging yourself on a Wednesday. For color, the color is green. So how does that fit in with this year? So you can look at different traditions. I'm going to look at a photo snap I did yesterday to mail to a friend. Okay, so green is one of the colors that actually goes with the rat year in Chinese New Year. So 2020 is the white metal rat, and its colors is blue, gold, and green. So that's pretty interesting. Okay. Didn't give anything else that I could mention that goes along with it. Okay, so matching things up. This year, it's about being stable this year. How can you be more stable and more responsible for your life in everything, relationship, finances, every aspect of your life, right? So we mentioned before being stubborn as it could be a negative trait. Stubborn could be very positive in the sense of not changing your mind on the whim to please someone else. Where it is really not sensible, right? So the negative part of 4 is not being able to adapt to changes, right? Being dull, right? Too much conviction in what you're doing, where you can't really hear and you can't really learn anymore. Your cup is already full, right? And then also convention. It could be a negative trait as well, okay? So the energy of 4 is seeking security in the home, right? So it made me think of Taurus in a sense, right? So we all can benefit from learning from all these different astrological signs. So 4 is creating a haven for yourself. So you'll find that you or someone else might need to create a haven for themselves, a safe space, right? A safe space in their home, or change their life up because that's not working for them anymore. That's the old way, so good traditions, some traditions just don't match up with the times, right? So, and even if you're not the one that feel that you need a safe haven, maybe you need to respect someone else's need for their space or what they feel would work best for their life. Okay, a need to express your own knowledge and wisdom. So really finding that space where you're like, okay, this friend or this person is supportive and recognize my knowledge and my own personal level of wisdom right now, and putting my ideas into form. So giving yourself that space and the time to do that, and having people in your life that will support that. Okay. And some of us might want to work on being more productive in our life, more realistic with our goals or whatever it is that we're doing, more constructive in our life. Also being more cautious with what we're doing. Maybe that's your lesson for this year, is to work on being more cautious. And again, the word tradition comes up because some traditions will work for you, some won't. Okay. 4 also talks about systems, right? So systems as more forms of organization, or a way a person wants to do something, or the way your family is or your community is. Okay, so finding a system for you that works right for you. Another powerful word associated with 4 is order. Okay, so having order in your life. Where can you change up things? Maybe making yourself a calendar, making a calendar for if you're a parent, and then you have to pretty much manage someone else's life. So it's getting someone else on a calendar so that you'll have more free time for yourself, or there's more order, okay, for yourself and others. And also management's another popular or powerful word when it comes to the number 4. So you're thinking about your time management, right? Again, it goes along with order. So your time management, managing someone else's time if you're responsible for someone else. It could be your family, kids, business, an elderly person, a relative, so it's self-management and time management. And then we're coming back to the neutral mind when we're talking about yoga and the 10 bodies, right? So looking at our faults, what's not good for us, okay? So being neutral. So this one isn't the neutral mind. This one is being neutral. So being too neutral in something where you're like in the middle, that's what it's about. It's not going to be a good thing to do, okay? So you have to bring it back to Uranus again, okay? And being neutral is kind of a Taurus energy that we can have in our charts, okay? It's all positioned, whether it's positioned strong or not in our chart, but being neutral can be good, where you're like, okay, I'm going to pick my battles. That's not my issue. I gave you advice. You're going to have to work it out. Or being neutral to where it's detrimental and the issue is going to come back to you. So it's all about really judging that situation for yourself, right? So it brings us back to the planet Uranus and the meaning of Uranus, and really not really wanting to be controlled. That Taurus energy, of being very strict and very focused and knowing what you want and not wanting to be bossed around, right? So those horns are like, no. And in that sense, it relates to the masculine side, the Emperor card, okay, a major arcana, just like the Empress is the feminine, along with Venus. It has that energy of Venus. So it's finding that which one applies to you, for your situation, and really, studying the Empress and the Emperor and seeing how am I going to handle that particular situation this year. So really study the Empress card and see how it works in your birth chart, and the Emperor, regardless if you're male or female. So there's different ways of attacking a situation or handling a situation that you've come upon in 2020. So your fate, okay? So fate is like, okay, no matter what, this is what's going to happen. This is a lesson I'm going to have in my life if you believe in fate. Okay, so things happen that are out of your control. Okay, so this year is very important to be very spiritual if you are, and really bless yourself. So blessing yourself meaning having a daily mantra, having a daily practice, really having that spiritual connection to yourself, and literally just, blessing yourself through mantra, through a spiritual practice, I don't know, saging, baths, spiritual baths. So it's really having that personal connection to yourself. Another word that comes up is discipline and harmony. So when you're disciplined, it means that you're putting yourself on a schedule, and you can free yourself from that schedule to take a break, if you feel like you need it. But having those guidelines is really helpful, will bring more harmony into your life, and it will help you to delete things, let go of things that won't work for you. And when these things show up in your life that's not good for you, you can actually get rid of it. It'll be easier for you to get rid of it because you're like, that's not working, right? And you limit yourself from being stressed. I was watching a video, and it's like, you usually have low vibrational, negative, narcissistic people enter your life when you're going through a rough time and your guard is down. So even when you're going through a rough time, keeping your spiritual practice will help you to not get tangled up in people that will just make a new horrible situation for yourself, right? So responsibility. Okay, again, I think we mentioned that before, just being responsible for yourself, what responsibilities you want and what responsibilities that you feel that you could delegate out to someone else. Really looking into that, okay? Also, dependability. Excuse me. So again, looking at people in your life that have strong characters, and just knowing which friends you can talk to about what things, or just knowing the personality of other people, where you just can't vibe with. You're always yourself. I think always yourself with everyone, but just knowing your crowd, or your friendships, or your acquaintances, okay, and knowing their personality and what conversations you can have with them versus the other, okay? And then this whole discipline and harmony and responsibility and dependability all comes into your inner circle, the people that are most close to you, okay? Family and friends. 4, like I mentioned before, is all about the home, right? Family. Someone that can give support, right? It's like seeking security in your home that I mentioned before, and creating a safe haven. So 4 is also looking at that need for a home, okay? Maybe you want to move, or you want to restructure your home to be better for you emotionally, mentally, physically. Family, giving support and sharing their love, passion, ideas, and have them really take part in what you own. You want to share what you have when you are around people that you love, your material possessions. And if you feel like you can't share that, then there is an issue there, okay? That will definitely need to be resolved. Now, the other part that I found interesting about 4 that I wanted to share is its meaning now in Vedic astrology, right? So 4 is ruled by Rahu, which is associated with the planet Uranus, okay? Now, Rahu and Ketu is basically entail about a dragon. So it's the aspects of the moon. So the head is the head of the dragon is Rahu, and the tail is Ketu. So you think about the north node of the moon is associated with Rahu, okay? And it's ruled by Aquarius and the planet Uranus. Okay, now the south node of the moon is Ketu, and that is Neptune, okay? And it's ruled by the positive aspects of the zodiac sign Cancer. Okay, so when you think of your north node, you think of where you need to go in your life. So this year, you can use that to really think about, where do I want to go in my life this year, and how am I going to go about it? So you want to make sure that you're not taking shortcuts, you're not doing things that you get so passionate that you just pretty much, do something that could later on get you in trouble. Okay, so the 2020, it's Rahu's shadow. It's a shadow entity when you think of it as the side of yourself. You can interpret it as the side of yourself that will go through those actions, like I said, that will make you do things out of character or reckless just to get to where you want to go. So you want to think of it as eclipses, right? It's associated with eclipses, and we're just kind of ending this eclipse season, and we're starting this calendar new year, or moving into out of winter and into spring. So we want to think about how can we change and how can we have our own inner revolution, right, with that Uranus energy. So Rahu is very much connected to the third house when in the Vedic astrology, and it's good for our fate and our courage, right? So our feet and our courage. So you want to make sure that whatever goals that you want to meet, you want to reach them in the best way possible, and just be careful of how you go about doing so. And Rahu is associated with, or is thought of as, the king of meteors. So this year will be interesting to look at any kind of meteor showers. And I was looking at an article talking about the possibilities of meteor showers that could be bigger than what we've experienced before. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye out for that. And I've already mentioned try not to take shortcuts. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. Another thing I've pretty much mentioned everything on here already that I wanted to tell you guys. Let's see. Yes, so Rahu is all about actions, right? So it's very much what actions you're going to take, and it's all about that transformation of self. So you can use this in a positive way to go after what you want, but just be mindful of any kind of chaos. Now, Rahu is also future thinking, just like Uranus. So you want to free yourself from things that you feel are holding you back, but it's all about how you go about it. So you might not want to go about it in a Ketu way, which is more conservative, which is more doing actions in secret. You're more outward, okay? Your actions are more of liberation, of freeing yourself, and also in doing so, freeing others too. But for some of you, you might take that to more of a selfish way of working on what you need for yourself first, which is actually smart. Before you can help anyone else, you have to help yourself. So this year you can notice the actions of yourself and notice these actions that others are doing, and you can learn from that, maybe what not to do, how you could do it better, how you can communicate better, okay? Another thing about Ketu and Rahu, it's in the tail, it's as if they're split, they're the same entity but split in half. So the head is in one direction in the heavens, in the sky, and the head is in one direction and the tail is in one direction. So it's one energy, but it's like the way that they go about things is in a different way, right? So this year will hold the energy of more Rahu, okay, and Uranus and Aquarius. So how does that fall in your chart? Another thing to look at is, where is Aquarius in your chart, okay, and what house is it? So when you look at that in your chart, it's in the first house, second, third, 12th house. Figure out what house it's in, and then what that meaning is for you for that year. What are you likely to experience more of, and what you'll need to work on. If it's in, say, your 7th house, it will be like your marriage and your relationship issues that you would need to work on. If it's in your 2nd house, it will be more of your money and the things that you possess, okay? So it's really seeing what this year will have entail for you. For your birth chart, look and see where Uranus is, okay? And also, yes, to see where Uranus is in your chart, okay? Where's that planet Uranus in your chart, in what house, okay? Not Aquarius, Uranus. And if you are Aquarius, then see what house is in your chart as an Aquarius when you were born in your birth chart, and also see where Uranus is in your chart as well. Okay, but for everyone is where is your Uranus in your chart. Okay, and if you are Cancer, you're born under the zodiac sign Cancer, whether in the Western astrology or in the Vedic, look at both and see where your Neptune is, and also see where your Uranus is if you're Cancer. Okay, and using the number 4, seeing, okay, where am I lacking in my life? What is my challenge? Where can I grow more? You know, what is it? You know, am I too trusting? Right? Am I not trustworthy enough? Maybe I need to, you know, get my calendar going and making sure that I'm not overbooking myself or trying to be a people pleaser. Maybe I need to be my own rebel for myself, you know. So it's like looking at things that you're doing that even if you do it in a good intention, maybe it's not being perceived that way, or it's not ending up in the best way possible. So changing that up. All right, so this video is pretty long, so I hope that this numerology of 4 helps. So I think I'm going to title the video like numerology meaning 4, and Vedic and Rahu. So hopefully this really, yeah, I hope this helps. Yeah, I think so. All right, so you know, when we're looking at the 4-year and predictions, and 2020 equals 4, you know, 2 plus 2 is 4, then yes, you can see the negative aspects that could be predicted for the year, but also you can see the positive aspects where even if something is negative, you can flip it, like being that alchemist, flip it and make it more more positive for you. Okay, and that's just you growing. Okay, so I hope you guys like this video. Click like and share, and I will see you next time. Peace.